I want to welcome you to another episode of Sermon Highlight. We're here again, and we have Pastor of the Shiloh Seventh-day Adventist right here. So, Pastor, I want to thank you for being here. And as always, I'm just going to ask you for the highlights, the main points of the sermon that you preached today. What do you want us to get from that?
Well, a couple of things I want us to highlight. That one, we're on the journey with Abraham. The journey started last week, and now we're in Genesis 13, where he and his nephew Lot have amassed so much wealth that they can no longer live and work in the same area because their possessions are so huge that it causes a conflict between their employees, their herdsmen, and taking care of their herds. And so Abram informs Lot that, hey, we need to separate because there's much quarreling, and it reminds them, listen, we should not have this. We're a family. And so they separate their ways. And some of the unique points about this is that God first had promised this land to Abram, but then Abram allows Lot to choose where you're going to go. You go to the left, I go to the right. You go to the right, I go to the left. Lot makes his choice. The Bible says he looks at the field. He considers that it'd be a perfect place in the plains for his cattle, his herds. And so he chooses this because of the economic opportunities, growth and enlargement of his possessions. And so he chose that area. Abram stayed up in the mountains. And so he made a choice. Now, a couple of things. There's conflict within a family. That's number one. Number two, the resolution of the conflict. And number three, the decision Lot made and the decision Abram made. One is there's conflict. Conflict can occur in families, even with best intentions that try to avoid. But one of the things, the principles of resolving conflict comes from Abram. First, Abram recognizes the problem, pulls him aside. Now, it's not, the Bible doesn't say Abram and Lot are in controversy. The employees, which causes tension for their relationship. So they decide to talk one-on-one. Don't put it on blast. Don't try to humiliate. Listen, there's a problem with family. We shouldn't have this. One of the ways we can resolve this is that you take your possessions in one area, you go to another one. So with family and with resolving conflict, try to have that one-on-one conversation. Abram stuck to the subject. One, he did not go off a name calling and divert the conflict. He stuck to the subject. This is a solution. They agreed upon the solution. They executed the solution. So in families, stick to the subject. Try to have a one-on-one conversation as Jesus described for us in Matthew 18. Avoid name calling, belittling, gestures, attitudes, and don't try to win and be right. Just try to deal with the subject and come up with the solution. Incorporate the solution. If it works, move forward. If it doesn't work, hey, come back to the table and try to work it out. So we have the conflict. Then we have the solution I've just shared with you. And then Lot's decision. Lot made a decision based upon the economic opportunities, the opportunities for his family, his business. But yet the Bible says when he made that decision, the Bible put a clause in there that he moved towards Sodom, and the people were wicked toward God. And so he did not consider the spiritual impact it will make. So the Bible says he moved closer in his tent, and then he eventually moved into the city. And the tragedy is he did not consider the spiritual impact that it would have on his family, because in the end, he was taken in a conflict, in a war. They took his possessions, but Abraham rescued him, got him back his possessions. But in the end, the angels coming to rescue him out the city, he lost his wife, he lost two of his children in the city, and two of his daughters left with him out of the city, but the city was still in him because they got him drunk and impregnated themselves. And he lost his wealth. So he lost everything, including his family, on that one decision. And then Abram made this decision to stay up there. And the Bible records over and over that Abram built altars, stayed connected with God. So in essence, my brothers and sisters, resolve conflict in a healthy way and ask God for divine wisdom in making decisions. And don't put your family in a situation that will jeopardize their spirituality and their spiritual influence. You don't want to gain the world and lose your soul.
Yes, yes, yes. You don't want to gain the world and lose it. So, Pastor, I want to thank you for coming back here and sharing with us these highlights. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. I appreciate it.